In this video, we will discuss about how prices are determined in the marketplace. We have discussed in the earlier videos that the market economy functions through price mechanisms, and price mechanism functions through the forces of demand and supply. Okay, but how exactly the prices are determined through the forces of demand and supply, that we will discuss in this lecture. Okay, just as an example, I have taken here, taken a hypothetical example, and I have drawn or I have taken a demand schedule and a supply schedule. Okay, so here if you look at this example, here in the first column I have price. Okay, in the second column I have written corresponding quantity demanded, and in the third column I have written quantity supplied. Okay, so when price of a particular, so we know that according to law of demand, if price of a particular commodity decreases, the quantity demanded will increase. Okay, so if you look at the corresponding demand schedule here, corresponding to these price levels, we will see that you can see that when price is 50, the quantity demanded is 10. Okay, the quantity demanded is low. When price decreases to 40, to 30, the quantity demanded increases to 20 units, okay, 30 units, etc. When price becomes 10 rupees, the quantity demanded becomes 50. That means if price decreases, the quantity demanded is increasing. Okay, if you look at the corresponding supply schedule though, it follows the law of demand. That is to say, according to law of demand, if price of a particular commodity increases, the quantity supplied of that particular commodity should increase, and vice versa, keeping other things constant. So if you look at this supply schedule, when the price is 50, the quantity supplied is 50 units. When the price decreases, okay, the quantity supplied also decreases, right? So when the price is 10 rupees, the quantity supplied is 10 rupees. Okay, I have graphically represented these demand schedules and supply schedules by these demand curves and supply curves. I have drawn here, so here I have taken, on x-axis I have taken quantity, both quantity demanded and quantity supplied. On y-axis I have taken price. Okay, here QD is a demand curve, okay, and QS is a supply curve. You can see that the demand curve is downward sloping. That is, as price is decreasing, the quantity demanded is increasing. That's why it is downward sloping. Further, you can see that quantity supplied is increasing. As price is increasing, quantity supplied is increasing. Okay, so so that is basically as the quantity demanded QD curve, or the demand curve rather, okay, is downward sloping, whereas the supply curve is upward sloping. So why I am telling you this is, I want to tell you how prices are determined in the market. If you look at the supply schedule or demand schedule, when the prices are high, rupees 50 and 40, we have a mismatch between quantity demanded and quantity supplied. When the price is 50, quantity demanded is 10 units, that is, demand is low, but the quantity supplied is 50 units. The question comes, what will happen to these extra 40 units? Okay, they will just remain in the shelves in a supermarket. No one will buy that because the quantity demanded is 10. Same is with if the price of a product is kept at 40 rupees. The quantity demanded is 20, whereas the quantity supplied is 40, is double, right? So what will happen to these extra 20 units? Okay, so they will just lie on the shelves in the supermarket. No one will buy that. In the reverse case, when the price is too low, when price is 20 or 30, the quantity demanded is 40 units. When the price is 20, the quantity demanded is 40 units, but the quantity supplied is 20. That is, demand is more, but supply is less. When the price is 10, the quantity demanded further increases to 50 units, but the supply is 10 units only. Okay, that means there is a demand for this commodity at this price, but the suppliers are not willing to supply at this price. Okay, so that means in this region, if you look at this region, these two, when price is 50 and 40, we have surplus in the market because supply exceeds demand. Whereas if you look at this region, we have shortage in the market because here demand is exceeding supply. Okay, there is a demand in the market, but supply is not there. And in the earlier case, there is supply in the market at that particular price, but the quantity demanded is low. Okay, so therefore there is surplus. You can look at this situation here. I have graphically represented this. If you look at the downward sloping demand curve and upward sloping supply curve, if you look at this point here, P, corresponding to, let us say, price 50. Okay, price 50. At price 50, what's happening here? Quantity demanded is 10, whereas quantity supplied is 50. Okay, so we have surplus production, or we have surplus here. Okay, whereas look at the another point when price is 10, let us say this point R. When price is 10, the quantity demanded is 50, but quantity supplied is 10. That is to say, quantity supplied here, look at this supply curve, point R on the supply curve, quantity demanded is 10. Sorry, quantity supplied is basically 10 when price is 10. Okay, but the quantity demanded is 50, represented by point S. Okay, so what are we having here? We are having a shortage here because demand exceeds supply. And here we are having a surplus because supply exceeds demand. So how will the appropriate price in the market will be determined? Okay, so that is to say, how will market function in this situation? So the point is, if you look at both these situations, these are extreme situations. In reality, what will happen is, if you look at this price 30, when the price is 30, the quantity demanded is also 30 and quantity supplied is also 30, right? So this is represented by this point E, equilibrium point E, where price is 30 and quantity demanded and quantity supplied, both are 30. Okay, so that is equilibrium price. So if any producer, okay, produces a good and keeps its supply price as 30 rupees, for this example, let us say, hypothetical example, here as 30 rupees, not too high, not too low, okay, then the quantity demanded is 30. That means this entire output will be bought at this price. Okay, so at this price level, price 30, the quantity demanded in the market equals the quantity supplied. Okay, it is represented by this point E, which is called equilibrium. Here you can see on the graph also, quantity here, demand curve and supply curve cuts each other at point E, where the quantity demanded is equal to quantity supplied. Okay, so that means everything that is demanded in the market will be supplied at that particular price level, or whatever that is supplied in the market, okay, will be consumed at, if the price is at that particular price level. So this is also called as equilibrium price or a market clearing price. Okay, why it is called as market clearing price is because whatever that is supplied at this price will get consumed. Okay, so there will be neither be a surplus as in this case at a higher price level, nor there will be a shortage as we have seen when the prices are too low. Okay, well, at this price level, quantity demanded will be equal to quantity supplied. This is called as equilibrium. equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity demanded and quantity supplied also. Okay, or in other words, it is called as market clearing price or market price in simple words. Okay, so this is how prices of any commodity are determined in the marketplace.